Hey there everyone, Aaron Spalsbury here at 3xLOGIC. Today I'm going to be going through one of the more advanced functions in this client software, and that is going to be the user audit. This allows us to be able to not only have visibility into how the system or even individual user or even groups and how they're using it, but it also gives us the ability of running a report and setting up specific criteria to show that individual user as to whether or not they are meeting expectations. So I've gone ahead and connected up to my server here. I'm going to go ahead and expand out everything down below. The one we're after today is going to be user audit. You can expose the settings window here by just double clicking user audit or hitting the arrow out next to it. Double clicking on this settings here will open the settings window, and the first thing we are going to want to do is actually enable this function in the software. There's a checkbox here in the upper left corner that says user audit enabled. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. Now down below, we've got a number of different criteria here. Individual user, user groups, or all users. If you're looking for a specific user, just use the drop down here off to the right. That will show you all of the users that you have inside the system, or even if you wanted to do it for an entire group, the drop down will then switch over to all of the groups that you have in here. Or if I simply wanted to look for all users, that box of course would be grayed out because now we're looking for both individual users as well as all of the user groups, literally everybody that's in this system. Now down below here, you may notice I did have footage viewed turned on here. It already had some information in there, but maybe I wanted to look for searches done. Just put a checkbox in that little area there off to the left, and this is going to open up this criteria window. Now, what is it that we're looking for? Well, what would this minimum value be for doing searches? Oh, I don't know. I'd like them to do, let's say, 10 searches, in the span of a week. So go ahead and hit OK. I'm going to come down here and say, active time. How active are you inside this system? Well, this may be a very long duration. Maybe I want it to be 120 minutes, let's say weekly, something along those lines. Go ahead and hit OK. If for any reason you ever want to edit these individual values down here, you can simply click on them and hit the edit button. Or if you just simply turn it off, it will reset it back to minimum value as 0. Now up here at the top, this idle time, this is for how active they are in the system. Are they actually watching video? Are they doing searches? Are they active? At what point does their mouse and controls go idle that we consider them to no longer be active? 60 seconds is a pretty good duration, but you can set this to whatever it is that you want inside of here. Now, these performance threshold, this kind of red and green bar that's down here at the bottom, this will actually show up at the top of the client if you want the individual user to be able to see whether or not they are meeting those expectations. You have a yellow threshold at 80%, and then of course a green at above 80%. And it would look just like it does here. It just shows you a little sample, and we'll show this here in just a moment. I'm actually going to leave this turned on. That can be disabled with just this checkbox down here at the bottom. I'm going to leave this turned on so that you can see what it would potentially look like for the individual user inside the system. So now I've got some information in here. I'm going to go ahead and click OK on this window, and it will give me a prompt that says, hey, this may take a moment or two to calculate this information. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And up here at the top, you'll see that said calculating for just a moment. And of course, now I'm at 0% because I just logged into this particular machine. Now, since I've turned this function on and I've entered some criteria in there, I now have a new button that has appeared here off to the left called Reports. This is how you can run reports against other users or groups inside the system. If you double click on this, it's going to give you a lot of different criteria. You still have all of your users, which, we could come in here and say, I want to look for all users, an individual user with a drop down here, or even a particular user group, just like we did on the previous page. What type of report am I looking for? Is it one of these? If you're not sure how it was titled in here, you can actually search for it by typing it in here and hitting search. Or if we want to look for an extended report, I can click User Performance Report here. This is where you will really find a lot of the granularity inside the system. For instance, I could exclude days like weekends or holidays or paid time off, a vacation day, whatever it may be. What time span am I looking for? Maybe it's prior to a particular date. All of this information is going to be brought up in a nice printable, savable report here you'll see in a moment. But to pull this information up, you do have to hit the calculate button. Now you will get this please wait prompt. This will take a moment to go back in time and pull all of this information up So be patient. This will pop up here in just a moment. So now we've got this full-blown usage performance report that we can see inside of here, and this is going to show us literally everything inside the system. Date range, site name, employee, the person that we're running the report against, etc. All of this as you kind of scroll down, but notice how granular this is. This will show us the percentage on each individual day. Whatever it is that we're looking for inside of here, we have all of this individualized information in here. Now, the question I always get asked, how do I save this? How do I print this? Well, those buttons are just right here across the top of the screen. Makes it nice and easy to be able to save or print this information off. But that's essentially it for using an audit report, guys. I hope this video is helpful to you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.